Hello there. So this is Brendan on his holiday, here for more deep philosophical conversations. Here, let's start off with some sound effects. Metal bottom, and wow, hear that? Sounds like gravel, doesn't it? It's wheat. Wheat! Yes, the stuff we make bread out of, except clearly this is not yet food. Bread is food, or is it? That's what we'll talk about in the next couple of minutes. Okay, this here wheat, it's a seed, right? Nature designed this seed to go off and create more life, right? So this seed is like maybe 5% at the most germ, which is where the DNA and most of the nutrition is going to be. That's where the new life sprouts, from the germ. We usually get rid of that in white flour. And then there's like bran, which is the coating around it, which is the fiber, which is also great for you. And then the inside, which comprises like 80% of these kernels, is the starch. Okay, and that's mostly long chain sugars, right? Polysaccharides, which get broken down into simpler sugars if you give them time. And then protein, and the main protein, of course, is gluten, that great structural protein which holds on to the air inside bread and lets those bubbles expand and, raise your bread. Okay, so that's wheat. Now, if there's, herbivores, right? Plant eaters, they got these really, really long digestive tracts, or they've got, extra stomachs, and they chew their cud, and they got ways to actually take plants, like that, plant matter, hard, dense plant matter, and give it a long time in their bodies to let like a whole stew of bacteria, digest it for them and access the nutrients. Interestingly, one reason perhaps why those long-necked dinosaurs, right, the Brontosauruses and Brachiosauruses, had to be so big is because they basically ate pine trees, and it's kind of hard to digest a pine tree, so they had to be that big to have like this long digestive system. Anyway, we don't have that. Our digestive system is only like 5 feet long. So what do? We take this stuff. For some strange reason, we remove the bran and the germ because we like white flour. Pity. And we get the starch. We grind it up into a powder flour, right? And you think that's going to make it more accessible to our digestive system, right? Because it's a powder, but really at your molecular, microscopic level, it's still hard. And so it's going through your system as something that, if you haven't given it time, still hasn't been properly hydrated and properly broken up by the enzymes. So, okay, so like when I take that flour, let's just say I put it into like a cookie or a cupcake or something, right? Well, a cookie you mix up in like 5 minutes, and then you put it on your pan and you bake it in 10 minutes, and you're all done. And so then I wonder, in that case, is the flour actually food? Because it's still just that hard starch, right? And really, it's just kind of become like a carrier, a binder, something to like bulk up that cookie so it carries the sugar and the chocolate chips that you're really after, right? Same with the cupcake, I think. And so, but that is really quite analogous to modern bread, which is made in a factory, and factories have to have a continuous throughput, right? Because everything that goes in the factory has to be continuously moving. And so, we take that flour and just basically we hijack that property of the glucose just by like throw water at it, whip it up in a high-speed mixer, chop it, pan it, proof it, with sugar, because that makes the starch blow up a lot quicker, right? Or sorry, makes the yeast blow up a lot quicker. And boom, you got bread in less than 2 hours. And then it goes into a blast freezer so you can slice it, bake it, and off it goes. But what you have done there is you didn't give enough time for the water to properly hydrate the proteins and the starches, and you haven't had any time for like the amylases to start digesting things, and so you're still got that going through you. Okay, so of course our answer to that is, the age-old method of sourdoughs, right? This is no secret. You use sourdough, or the more modern, nicer sounding term is wild yeast, but that's the same thing. And it involves time, right? And we let the flour hydrate, and we let the sourdough basically kind of pre-digest it for you as it sits for hours and hours, and then overnight often before we actually bake it. So we're not like those ruminant herbivores that have like a full digestion of complex plant starches going on, but we're also not like the birds who eat these seeds and then it passes through them completely untouched. We're kind of somewhere in the middle. But nonetheless, along the way, it clearly seems that we have modified this wheat so much to get higher protein levels out of it. And probably altered other things in our diet so much that now we've basically got too much of the wrong things from wheat going through us a lot, right? And so there's a number of disorders going on, which anyway, it's a pretty complex subject. But anyway, what's our answer to this, right? And notice that none of this has anything to do with ingredients. What I'm talking about is process, right? And people tend to focus a lot on ingredients. They ask us, did you put this in? Does it contain that? Or they're additives or something, right? Other people want to know if something's organic. That's even before anything gets to the bakery, right? Because organic it's not like there's a bottle of organic we add to things, right? Organic is a way of growing food. And so before the flour even comes to us, it's already either it's organic or it's not. In our case, it's not. I can't get organic flour at a price that makes any kind of sense here. And then, of course, vegans just want stuff to be vegetarian, and other people only care if something is fresh. It doesn't matter what's in it. As long as it was made today, that's the main thing they want, right? Or it's got to be soft. Okay, so different people want different things, and I guess today what the focus was on the process of trying to take what is not food, right, hard, densely packed starches, and turning them into food, or a higher proportion of food, which is accessible to our human digestive systems, by allowing more time and using sourdoughs and trying to break up that flour better so that we can use it better and not keep making ourselves sick, Ooh, wow. Heavy stuff for a baker. All right, that's all for today. Thank you.